Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a fascinating, entirely data-driven breakdown of two absolute titans in the beauty industry, Olay and L'Oréal Paris. Both of these massive incumbents are completely dominating the exact same marketplace on Amazon, but as we're about to see from the data, they are doing it using two completely different playbooks. It's kind of the ultimate question for anyone watching the beauty space, right? Between these two heavyweights, who is really winning on Amazon? Okay, let's dive into this. To find the real answer, we aren't relying on anyone's opinions or marketing spin today. We're looking squarely at hard, structured catalog and review data pulled straight from the Amazon marketplace. Here is how we're breaking it all down today. First, two brands, two playbooks. Second, catalog breadth versus depth. Third, unpacking the review volume. Fourth, pricing and discounting strategies. Fifth, what drives the purchase. And finally, different paths to victory. All right, section one, two brands, two playbooks. Right off the bat, I really want to clarify that this is absolutely not a better versus worse review. We've got two major brands in the exact same marketplace charting completely different paths to dominance. And get this, amazingly, they both average the exact same customer rating, a highly respectable 4.44 out of 5. But they hit that identical rating through totally distinct strategic formulas that target entirely different needs in the market. Moving on to section 2, catalog breadth versus depth. And this brilliantly illustrates just how opposite their structural philosophies actually are. Olay runs a narrow and deep catalog. They have 266 active products spanning just 14 different forms, heavily concentrated in skincare and personal care, particularly creams and body washes. They go incredibly deep into one specific category. L'Oréal Paris, on the other hand, is broad and fragmented. They have 300 active products, but they span a massive 27 different product forms. We're talking skincare, hair care, and makeup. L'Oréal's strategy is all about capturing broad search intent. They essentially want a product available for almost every single beauty-related search a customer might type into Amazon. Which brings us to section 3, unpacking the review volume. When you start looking at customer engagement, one staggering multiplier just jumps right off the page immediately, 4.3x. L'Oréal has roughly 4.3 times as many reviews as Olay. So the crucial point is, that is a massive gap, especially when you realize L'Oréal's catalog is only about 13% larger in terms of total individual products. To put that into perspective, L'Oréal sits at over 2.8 million reviews, compared to Olay's roughly 651,000. So why such a massive gap? Well, review volume is generally a really good proxy for purchase volume and market reach. L'Oréal competes heavily in high-frequency cross-category products like hair color and cosmetics. Olay just doesn't. In fact, a staggering 55% of all Olay reviews come strictly from their cream products. Basically, Olay is hitting the limits of its influence in that specific cream segment, while L'Oréal is supercharged by its massive reach across tons of high-frequency daily items. Let's look at section 4, pricing and discounting strategies. This strategic divergence we're tracking continues right into their pricing. Olay commands a premium mid-tier price, averaging $25.82. L'Oréal Paris, however, operates firmly in the mass market at an average price of $15.41. That makes them roughly 40% cheaper per product. Now, the data shows shoppers actually report the highest satisfaction in that $15 to $30 mid-range tier for both brands, but Olay's strict pricing discipline keeps them elevated in that premium adjacent space, while L'Oréal completely secures the cost-conscious masses. And because their pricing baselines are so different, their discounting strategies have to be too. Olay discounts way less aggressively, averaging a surgical 9.44%. They really protect their premium pricing withdrawal, but they do target discounts at higher margin, highly competitive categories, like serums, just to win market share. L'Oréal, though, discounts significantly harder, averaging 15.23%. They use what the data calls a gateway product formula. They will literally slash prices by up to an aggressive 55% on low-commitment entry products, things like face masks or kits, just to lure new customers into their wider multi-category ecosystem. It's pretty brilliant. Let's move to section 5 and see how this builds into what drives the purchase. This highlights an absolutely incredible level of portfolio resilience for Olay. Look, in a lot of consumer brands, a handful of hero products drive almost all the engagement. If this couple of products fail, the whole brand is in serious trouble. But for Olay, their top 10 products account for just 25.32% of their reviews. Almost 75% of their engagement is distributed across the rest of their catalog. They are absolutely not relying on a single hero product to survive. And here is where it gets super interesting. L'Oréal Paris shares that exact same highly resilient distribution. Their top 10 products account for just 24.09% of reviews. Seeing this wide distribution of success is remarkably rare at this massive scale, and honestly, it's perhaps the most significant similarity between these two intense rivals.
But why do these customers ultimately click buy? Text analysis of their reviews shows totally different psychological drivers. Olay shoppers base their purchases on sensory and functional trust. They talk constantly about the scent, the quality, and the skin feel. Olay is making a sensory promise. L'Oréal shoppers, on the other hand, are highly results-based. They're buying primarily for a visible change, like a vibrant new hair color or a specific cosmetic effect, supported